Hi, good morning. It's Dr. Cruz. How are you? How are you? How are you? Okay, so I'm on my way to work and I want to read an excerpt about superpowers, right? Because why go into the day as an average person? Why go into today with the same humdrum energy that you had yesterday? This morning I woke up and I got my daughter a little irritated because I was so amped up. I was tapping into my superpowers. And our superpowers, first of all, are inside of us, right? It's our attitude, it's our energy, and it's where we focus. Where are we focusing that energy and that mindset and those thoughts? And it's a choice, right? Our superpowers are a choice. Now we have to understand, hey, Melanie, good morning. We have to understand what our superpowers are eventually. But until you identify your superpowers, you got to understand what the theory is in general. So on page 18, I'm going to talk a little bit about the theory of superpowers, right? So you got to understand what that even means before you can wake up and start focusing on it and start energizing yourself and start creating, okay? Creating, you have to create the energy, you have to create the thoughts, you have to create your life, okay? That's what maximizing your superpowers is all about. Okay, so I'm on page 18 of Maximize Your Superpowers, and it says, I wrote it. Okay, superpowers by definition are powers that are superior in nature. A little vague, I suppose, but to know that something is available to you that is superior in nature is quite exciting, don't you think? Our superpowers don't just jump out at us all at once. They reveal themselves in degrees of awareness, because all that is available to us is first available through the degree of our awareness. Without awareness of a thing's existence, it cannot purposefully serve us. It lay dormant until we activate it through conscious and deliberate use. All right, that's the bottom of page 18. It's called Superpowers and Awareness. Page 18 of Maximize Your Superpowers. And I want to reemphasize, without awareness of a thing's existence, right? Until you realize who you are inside, you lay dormant until you properly use the gifts that you have. Without awareness of a thing's existence, it cannot purposefully serve you. So you cannot even purposely serve you until you understand who you are, right? That's superpowers, awareness. It lay dormant. You lay dormant. You and all your qualities and all your gifts and all your talents, they will lay dormant inside of you until you acknowledge them, until you recognize them, until you become aware of them. And then you can focus on them and then activate them through conscious and deliberate use. Come on now. Conscious and deliberate use. How can you consciously and deliberately use anything that God has put inside of you until you have an awareness, a conscious awareness of what is inside of you? Jesus, I need to be on stage because that is powerful. How do you start living your best life if you don't know who you are? If you don't look in that mirror and you say, God is glorified today because I exist, and God is glorified because of me. I am an extension of God. And if I walk in the glory of God, then I am magnified through his power. And if I am magnified through his power, I have just tapped into my superpower. It doesn't matter who is on my left or who is on my right. It doesn't matter who is in front of me or who is behind me, because all things around me are irrelevant to me if I'm focused on the purpose of God inside of me. Sit with that for a minute. Sit with that for a minute. Everything around you can be irrelevant in this moment if you get connected to this right here, right? And when you start focusing on what God has put inside of you, then you can maximize your superpowers because you will become consciously aware of your superpowers, right? That's some good stuff right there. So I have to go into my day today with the energy that I decide to create. So I woke up this morning irritating my daughter because she was still asleep. And I had gotten up and I started glorifying God's name. And I started visualizing what it is that he has for me to do in this lifetime, right? And I was in a situation yesterday and and it was irritating to me, right? It was disturbing my spirit. And I came home and I was kind of grumbling about it. And I was like, I didn't like this and I didn't like this. And why did this happen? And I'm feeling a shift in my energy and I didn't like it. And I woke up this morning, I realized it's because that's not where I'm supposed to be. I was in an environment that I am not supposed to be. I have outgrown that environment, right? I have outgrown that environment because my spirit is telling me it's disturbed, right? So you got to pay attention to what you are feeling because your feelings are there to inform you of something in your environment. And when you're not walking congruently with your superpowers, your spirit will start being disturbed by things and people and weather and events and energies, right? So you have to figure out, how can I get realigned with my superpowers, which are the gifts that God has put inside of you, right? Commit to yourself today that you'll take time to think about everything that I've just said, because this is your life that you need to create, right? Why don't they tell us that? You need to create your life. So as you move forward and you start tapping into the consciousness of your gifts and your abilities and your spirit and your calling and your energies and how your spirit is being affected, as you start tapping into that consciousness, you can begin to walk in the proper alignment that you were created to walk in. And get out of the environments that you were never supposed to be in. You're in those environments because of a lack of knowledge, because of a lack of wisdom, because of a lack of an alignment. But once you get aligned and you start focusing on your spirit and you listen to how God speaks to you through your spirit, you will have an extraordinary communication line that comes from something in the ether, in the realm of the supernatural. And that's how you guide your steps. It's internal. It's your superpower. Okay? All right, this is Dr. Cruz, author of Maximize Your Superpowers. I wish you the best today. Declare, decree, proclaim, and receive the life that you want to have. And every day, listen, don't beat yourself up. If you're not where you want to be in life, if you feel like you're an imposter, if you feel like, I'm not there yet, I don't have the qualities, I don't have the persona, I don't have the this, that, the other thing, the talent, other people are better than me. Listen, first and foremost, get your eyes off other people. They are irrelevant to your purpose in life. And wake up every day with the energy. You have to step into it with a willpower to call it forth. You have to call forth your future into the present and your present into the future, right? There is a connection here that you have to create. Your present to the future. Figure out what your present is and figure out what your future is that you want and call them into existence simultaneously. And you do that the moment you wake up, before you're even 100% consciously awake. You do that in that moment because that's when you are most connected to the divine. You're not consciously awake yet, but you're not unconscious, right? You're in that theta state, okay? That brainwave, that theta brainwave state. Call it into existence and tap into your superpowers because you were born to be great, baby. You are born to be great, and you got to claim that thing, okay? Have a nice day. Bye-bye.